I can't think of a more fitting day to talk to you today about starting. So, we all have things that we really want to start and things that we know we can start. Like, literally, you could start this today. And there's something in us. Maybe it's fear. Maybe it's laziness. Maybe it's not feeling like we're ready. And whatever that is, it prevents us from starting. And usually, preventing yourself from starting, something is also preventing the world from seeing and experiencing you. I think I'm emotional about this because there's been so many things that I've started throughout the years, like big things that have felt like really overwhelming. And you get to sit sometimes and just think like, oh my gosh, wow, I did that. And we don't do that enough where we get to just like be like, oh, I started that. And then there becomes this like overwhelming emotion where you're like, oh, it's got to come out somewhere because we don't do enough validating of ourselves. So it's like, oh, gosh, I guess I'm actually validating myself right now. Like, oh, I'm starting this. So it can feel really good. And it can also feel like, oh my gosh, we're feeling good. Like something must be wrong because I'm feeling good. Um, I mean, how many times does that happen for you where you're like, gosh, everything kind of feels all right? No drama, no this. But yeah, so today I wanted to give you just some tips to help you and encourage you. There we go again. Mm, I don't know. I'm going to accept it because that's just how it is today. And sometimes you just got to take yourself as you are. I mean, maybe I could be able to like cover it up a little bit more. My students know like when I do that, that usually means that I'm like trying to prevent a cry or I think of some things. And if you know, you know. But anyway, so I wanted to give you some three things to tell you you got this. You can start. And the first thing is taking that really small step. That step is so meaningful in so many ways. And it might actually be the weirdest step. Like for me, for this specific thing, it was literally the purchase of all the equipment. So it's kind of like funny, like you want to go with momentum wherever that momentum is propelling you. So like for me, the easiest thing, and ease is like the best word. It's one of my favorite words. It's the easiest thing will get done because there's that much less resistance coming from it. So yeah, okay, it was easy. It was easy for me to like be like, oh, okay, what's a good microphone? Cool. Let's get it. I mean, that was actually like that wasn't as easy because, Josh helped me out with that. But literally like thankfully because of him, I was able to know like which camera, which microphone, which backup camera, which tripod, where to sit. So like all those things. And what did that mean for me? That meant that I got to like knock down my wall a little bit and know that I'm not supposed to be able to do everything by myself. And I get to rely on the people that are around me that are supportive of me and the things that I want to do. And you have those people in your life too. And maybe if you can't think of them right now, you get to sit down and think of a list of the people who do that. Maybe you have to think of it in different ways as well. And maybe you don't have those. I mean, is that possible? If it's possible, you're in the wrong friend group. And we need to get you some supportive people because the best thing about doing things that are brand new is doing it around people that are excited for you to do those things. So, first step, get started. Your tiniest start. It's going to be so good. The other thing about the tiny start is it's going to create momentum. So, like, once you do one tiny start, you're like, okay, I got this. I can keep going with this. You might find things that you like about it, and then there's things that you really don't like about it. But it's okay because your body needs to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And that's my step number 2. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. We know that when we're starting something new, we're stepping out of our comfort zones, and it can feel so awkward and so weird and like so a part of you that's not you. And as we grow, Just think about this. This is like my favorite analogy for this. So when you're a kid and you're growing up and you're getting bigger, you have a pair of shoes. Can you imagine being in those shoes for your whole life? No, it would be so uncomfortable. So what happens is to be in shoes, we need bigger sizes. We need things that fit us. We need things that fit our style and things that fit our age, things that feel appropriate for what we're doing, heels versus sneakers versus platforms. So we learn about ourselves by what we need, and then we're able to give it to ourselves. So for you, if you're feeling uncomfortable, you might need to have some type of ritual before you do that thing. You might have to give yourself a pep talk or some kind of like loose movement to get you excited to do that thing. Maybe you need to just like slap yourself into it, like, you fucking got this. You got this. And sometimes we need that. But it's great for you to know your strategy. My strategy for doing something is usually to just throw myself into it and see what happens. I have somewhat of a plan, but then also I don't. And I let myself just like roll off of it. And from there, I learn. But I had to take some time to learn that that was my style. So, what's your style? What feels good for you when you're learning something brand new? So, for instance, if you're coming to the dance studio for the first time, what would feel really good? Maybe a small step would be signing up for the class. Maybe the class is in a month from now. You still did something, you signed up. Maybe it's buying a cute little bralette and then you're like, "Okay, well I got to use this." Maybe it's calling your friend and saying, "We're going to do this class together." Okay, but now you're in the class and you're feeling uncomfortable. You're realizing, "Oh my gosh, I don't even know. I don't even know what I'm doing. What am I doing here? I don't fit in." Well, one, let's not question ourselves because you're there for a reason and you've made it this far. That's like the easiest thing that happens for us is questioning ourselves. I think we can question ourselves like all day, every day. Like if someone asked us to, we'd be like, no problem. Like I know how to question myself. What we don't do enough of is giving ourselves the security in where we are. So for instance, while I'm sitting here talking to you, I'm like, okay, like I've done this a million times. I talk like this to my students all the times. I do lives every Wednesday for almost 2 years now. And then two, I'm a DJ. So I'm in front of crowds all the time. But this still, yet it feels different. It feels different because I'm looking at a lens. I don't have an actual real person that I'm looking at. But that's not different from my live. It's kind of the same. But like when I'm doing my live, I'm doing my makeup. So I'm kind of just like chilling. This, I'm like steady. So I'm recognizing, okay, things are different. I'm letting my body absorb like what the feels feel like. And then on top of that, I'm knowing that it's okay. It's my first one, you know? So when you're in the class for the first time, you can be like, okay, this is my first one. And then what we see from there is all the room to grow. And what's so cool about that is it's going to help us understand how we want to make our goals. So when I watch this back, I'm going to be like, okay, I know how to make that better. I know how to improve. And for you, you might be like in the dance class, you might be like, oh my gosh, wow. Like I know I have a goal now because I'm going to ask you at the beginning of the class, I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, what's your goal? And you'll be like, I don't know. I don't know. And then I'll be like, okay, that's okay. You'll know it by the end of class. And then you'll see all the possibilities and you'll be like, ooh, that's my goal. And that's just the best course that I've found is doing something, feeling it out, and then figuring out what you want more of, what you want less of in that experience, and then making your goals catered to exactly what you're doing. So I might watch this back and I might be like, okay, I understand my goal. I want to be a little bit more concise. In fact, I'm already thinking that. So that's how we learn. The third step that I have for you, oh yeah, we already kind of talked about this. It was just like finding your support system and finding people around you that are going to be helpful. Have you ever heard okay, when I was becoming a personal trainer, one of the biggest things that they tell you to tell your clients, so to like, they're like, okay, great. Like, you got new clients. What should you tell them? One of the things is to tell and encourage your client to tell other people that they're making this goal. So my third little hack or trick for you is to tell the people that you're in your circle, and if you need to make a new circle, but You're going to tell those people in your circle that you're doing something. So it would sound like this. Hey girl. And you'd be like, oh, hey. And you'd be like, oh my gosh, by the way, I like wanted to tell you, I'm going to start a dance class or I'm going to start XYZ. And they're going to be like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And then the next thing that you say is, hey, can you hold me accountable for doing this thing? Sure. How can I hold you accountable? You'd be like, okay, well, either A, come with me, or B, ask me how it went. And you can think of anything, honestly. But for me, when I was doing this, I told Josh, I was like, okay, we're doing it on this day. This is the start. I told people in my family, I was like, this is the year that I'm starting the podcast. And then, like, I don't know, it just became like this. It could have been any week, really, but it was this week because I think like my body was just ready for it. I had like thought about it for so long that it was like, okay. So, even like today at my PT appointment, because I could have backed out of this appointment with myself, right? And just not done the podcast and waited another week. But my PT was like, oh yeah, like what are you gonna do for the afternoon? I was like, oh, I'm filming my first podcast episode today. And I spoke that into reality. And I was making that so real in my brain that like that was my plan for the day. Last week I was talking to another one of my friends and he was like, oh, like, what are you going to do next week? And I was like, oh, well, I'm filming my podcast on Wednesday and, we're going to talk after this. And he was like, oh, cool. Like, good luck, So I'm just like telling people around me that I'm doing that. And then therefore they're aware. And he was actually like, oh my gosh, like, let me know if you ever want a guest on your podcast. So you'd be surprised like how many people are going to be so enthused and excited by what you're starting. So, to keep this as concise as can be, as I think that's going to be my goal for the podcast, I want to encourage you to get started. A quick little recap. 1, small starts. 2, get comfortable being uncomfortable. And 3, make sure you have a support system all around you to help you do the things that you're meant to do so that you can live your most authentic life and find your ultimate happiness. I'll see you again. It's happening. I'll see you on the dance floor.